Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Retro Adventures. Because at the end of another week, the end of another poll, we've got an absolutely astounding win for Conan the Buccaneer. Now this is going to be a PDF review, so we're going over to the computer desktop in a wee second to have a look at that. And as usual, I'll be back at the end of the video with some other channel related stuff and some other poll related stuff. But before I do that, I'd like to take a moment to talk about my Patreons, who this week I have been told know what is best in life. Now these are wonderful, wonderful people who make all of this possible, so I'd like to thank them from the absolute bottom of my heart for their support. Now if you'd like to join them and help support the channel, and I sure wish you would, or you'd like to see these videos a week early, or you'd like to see some Patreon exclusive videos that I'm putting up over there, or one of the other levels of patronage, then we've got a Patreon in the description down below. If you check it out, it'd be very much appreciated. But anyway, let's have a look at Conan the Buccaneer.
So, this is Conan the Buccaneer, which came out for the Conan Roleplaying Game from TSR in 1985. Now, first up, I have to say, I'm not a massive Conan fan. I've seen, I think, all of the movies, and I seem to remember reading the Marvel comics back in the late 70s, early 80s, so I'm familiar with the character, but it was not something I would normally seek out. I am a big fan of the role-playing game. When we looked at the box set a few months ago, really liked what they did. So I'm not the best person to go to work out whether this is generic fantasy or if it does have a Conan feel to it. To me, it feels very generic fantasy. This adventure you could just run in Dungeons & Dragons, and I don't think there'd be a lot of difference to it. Anyway, let's have a look at the back cover. So, official game adventure Conan the Buccaneer by Kim Eastland, developed by Anne C. Gray. Many Argosseans have been forced out to sea by burdensome taxes and penalties imposed by the king and his court. Most flee to Messantia, where a person can lose himself in the streets. Some sign onto merchant vessels and become free traders and buccaneers who sail the western seas. For those who feed off others' labours, one group is of importance. Although backed by foreigners, the captain and crew are Argossean. Their expedition will take them far past the Isle of the Black Ones, past the domain of the pirates of the Baracha Islands, in search of a lost island kingdom and the untold wealth it contains. Their fame, however, lies not only in what they accomplish, but in one of their crew, a young barbarian. His name is Conan. This adventure, as used for the Conan Roleplaying Game, cannot be played without the Conan Roleplaying Game rules produced by TSR Incorporated. And that's the setup of the adventure. The players are on a ship. You're searching for an island. The interest of the adventure, because most of it's a very standard dungeon bash, you're given a lot of locations, you'll be exploring through the ruins on the island, you're going to be finding somewhere on that island to explore further. But the real meat of the adventure is in the interactions between the players. And each of the characters, because it's pre-generated characters, has a detailed reason for going to the island, and many of them conflict with each other. So, while there are only a couple of NPCs on the island for the games master to get involved in role-playing, obviously he's got the crew of the ship, but the bulk of it's going to be as the players try to backstab one another, they work in different, they're working towards different goals, and in some cases, they're keeping quite big secrets from one another. So that's where your interest is going to be. You're going to be getting into role-playing between your characters. And for that, I think this is pretty good. The backdrop itself doesn't need to be that important because it's really just setting up situations for the players to role-play. Now, I've usually been asked not to give too many details, and I've tried to avoid there. I've been very generic. We'll be going in a second. My summary of this is that if you've got a bunch of people that like role-playing and get into that, this adventure could be very good for you. If you've got people who just want a dungeon bash and want a place to wander around killing things, then again, this adventure could be pretty good for you. But if you're looking for big mysteries to solve, lots and lots of things to find out, exploration, I'm not that sure that you'd be into this adventure. It is a very basic adventure with some good role-playing laid on the top between the players. So, if you don't want any further spoilers, turn off now, because we're going to be going inside. I really do like the cover image. It does look very Conan. Inside, we go straight to the City of the King. So, on the island, there's a city, and you'll be exploring that. And that city is laid out over these 3 maps with lots and lots of subsections and lots of locations within them. So in this area, we have numbered up to 10, I think, 7. So there's different places to explore within that block, and that's a different block up there, etc., etc. So there's different markets, royal districts, etc., and everything's detailed and broken down into those as you explore the city. Got table of contents. If I flick right to the back cover, we can see the map of the island. So the city of Ye King is there, with Lake Culver on it's on the coast of the Lake Culver, but there's not a lot else on the island. It's pretty bare, just a few locations. But since the players are mainly going there to find the treasure, they're going to be looking for that city. Got a nice little table of contents here, cover up by Clyde Caldwell, amazing artist. How to use this booklet, a brief description, how to use the setting. It sort of explains about that. General background. So we have information about the island, why it's become abandoned, what happened in the City of the King. And then adventure-themed characters. So we have pre-generated characters. We'll come to their character stats later on. But we have Minifear, the captain of the ship. Now, he has been sent to explore the island and find out what's there by some people who have hired him. So while the other players don't really know what's going on, he has a much bigger idea of the overall story. We've got Jaya Pakash, a friend of Conan's, but more out of a necessity than anything else. Priesthood has offered a bounty for your life for attempting to steal from their order. So hanging around with Conan seems to be a good thing to do. No one on the venture knows about the bounty, you think. We've got Conan himself. Jaya Pakash has brought you into this deal and explained to you that he believes it is more to Minifear's story than she wishes to say. In the City of Thieves, where he comes from, it's common knowledge they have a cache of gold hidden somewhere to fund their operations. He believes this is where Minifear is leading them, possibly to loot it. Alwyn, a bounty hunter who is aware of the bounty on Jaya Pakash and wants to collect it. Zystus, who has a trained kestrel, who can obey 5 commands. He's also got an apple of Daketa hidden on his person, which is a dangerous poison, which he can poison the claws of his kestrel. He doesn't really seem to have much more of a background than that. He's the guy with the kestrel. With Anthony, you're not all you seem to be. You're acting secretly for the Argossean government. They believe talks of an island expedition are a smokescreen for the intent of joining the Black Corsairs. We've got, after the characters, we are adventure-themed story, fleshing that out. And as they are sailing, they encounter a man on a raft. We see pictured there. He gets a few sentences out. There's some evidence lay around his body, but he has fled the island. So that's a clue leading onwards. And then when they arrive on the island, we've got random encounter tables for the jungle, for the shoreline, for in the water. And then we've got the different locations on the island. So the Culver Pillars, Rexhold, the Lake Culver Lighthouse, and then we've got the City of the King. And we go through all of the locations in here. There are lots and lots. We talk through canals, inland lakes, wooden doors, locked doors, etc., and lettered areas. And we've got the atmosphere of the areas. And we start through with Area 1 and an estate mansion and a tower, physician's office, just detailing out what monsters are in each, what can be found in each. Physician's office, guardhouse, astrologer's office. Then we've got Area 2 with a granary and lakeside city entrance, general warehouse. So obviously, depending on how the players get there, if they sail the ship into the lake, they could be approaching from the lakeside, or they could be going through the jungle and approaching the city from one of the other angles. Area 3 with the Purple Horse Inn, woodcarver's shop. Some notes left around, evidence for different things, where they can find more things, bakeries, a tavern, blacksmiths. Just lots and lots of locations to flesh out a ruined city. The cloth shop, the carpenter's guild, animals and pets store, 2 rooms, door locked. What else we got? A nice picture of Conan getting attacked by some wild, I want to say more than apes. They're not gibbons. Orangutans? Something like that. Import merchant, musical instrument store, herbalist. We've got wild boar in it, I noticed there. Temple to Mitra, temple to Bragsy, temple to Arket, so different gods. Conan fighting a giant wolf. Lair of the Wolves of Sarwick. Temple of Mataharetz. I have no idea if I pronounced that anywhere near. The palace, the tower. Now, it mentions that this is the core of the city where lots of knowledge are, and make sure the players know they have accomplished what they are seeking if Menethir let them in on the true mission. So there's history books which will expose what exactly happened to the island and where the treasure is kept. We've got some mansions in Area 3, another temple and mansions. And that's all the areas. It's a very brief description of all, but you can see in a simple adventure, having a nice description, some areas where situations can be twisted. So the bounty hunter can make sure that his prey is in danger, so he can collect on the bounty without actually having to go against Conan, just by causing problems. Equipment lists. A list of different wildlife. So we've got baboons, constrictor snakes, wild boars. We've got the pre-generated characters, so Conan, Alwyn, Jayapakash, Anthony, Xystus, Menethir, and Martina, additional non-crew character. We've got the crew sort of briefly summed up here, just saying their weaknesses, what equipment they've got. What have we got? The flying fish, the expedition's vessel. Cults and magical items. So talking around different things can be found, including the bracelets of Sursan, which one of the players already has. Runes and lore. We've got new monsters here, so Hounds of the Sage, Wolves of Sarwick, the Anti-Crawler, Werfrats, the Prowler in the Ruins, Grey Climber, Giant Venomous Spider, Nightwings, Undersnake. I have to say, some of these do look like things you would find on the cover of a Conan novel. While I'm not that familiar with Conan, I've seen enough comics, I've seen enough books to know that a large snake-like creature with 2 big clawed front arms, you could see Conan fighting, a big crocodile man. Yeah, this all seems like it's tonally right. What else? We've got Plodders, Sarwick, the son of Matahatrix, Dark Swimmer, Carnivore Form, and we're back to the map and the back cover. So as I said, there's not a massive amount to this adventure. It's a bunch of locations, it's some new monsters which aren't in the rulebook, some new equipment, some new magic items, so it fleshes out the game. So somebody who's just got Conan, no other role-playing games, can easily get into it, they can flesh out their world a bit. There's some exploration to be done, some hacking up of monsters, a standard sort of dungeon bash, but across a city, exploring somewhere which has been forgotten by time. There's some mystery there. I can see that being a lot of fun for the youngest players. And there's the role-playing bit, which is a bit more advanced, where the players will be trying to collect the bounty on another player, where they'll be conning each other and trying to keep secrets, finding things out for their government. It really seems quite interesting, but a bit basic.
So that was Conan the Buccaneer, and that won the poll this week with an absolutely amazing 47% of the vote. So many people wanted this. But in the comments, these were all popular choices. People were really excited about this one. Very difficult choice for them, but Conan went away and ran away with the prize. Because in second place, and it was a challenger for a while, is Where Is All the Glory Gone for the Star Trek role-playing game from 1985, which came in on only 22% of the vote at the end. Behind that was Allegheny Uprising for Twilight 2000, which came in on 19%, and behind that was Dramoon Run for Star Frontiers on only 12%, but people were fans of this, so they'll all make reappearances in future polls, because I think people would love to see all of them. Anyway, they're all wiped out the poll, and we're going back to a retro RPG poll. So, first up, we've got The Complete Thief's Handbook for AD&D 2nd Edition, TSR in 1989. Now, I've mentioned recently, I'm on a bit of a D&D binge, so I really want to look through a lot of these things. And especially as I have a D&D BECME game starting up this weekend, as well as my regular 5e campaigns and other games that are going on. So, looking back at early stuff, absolutely fantastic, and the complete books revolutionised the way that 2nd edition worked at the time. So it'd be fascinating to look through another one of these when it has been so long since I've looked through any of the others. All the rest in this poll, though, are suggestions from viewers. So next up, we've got Mutant Crawl Classics from Goodman Games in 2017. Now, I don't know much about this. I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like a Gamma World. Is that the kind of mutations? But again, I really don't know anything about it. It's been suggested, so I'm going into this blind. If it does well, I guess I'm going to have a lot of learning to do. After that, we've got Champions from Hero Games in 1981. Now, this is one of the very early superhero games. We've covered a couple on the channel before, but it'd be absolutely fascinating to go back to the very beginnings of superhero role-playing games. I remember bits of this, but it's been so long, I can't really pick up details. And finally, we've got the Star Trek role-playing game from Last Unicorn Games in 1999. Now, this is a game one of my friends was massively into, ran a short campaign of it, and created lots and lots of stats and things on his website. He was massively into this game. But I don't know much about it apart from playing a few sessions. So it'll be fascinating to look through the rulebook and see what more is to this game, if it does well. I think these are all pretty good choices, but we'll see what you choose. What else have I been up to? Well, I've been at the hospital a lot. As I mentioned last week, one of my friends, one of the guys from the gaming group, somebody I've been friends with for 30 plus years, has ended up in hospital. Very ill. And I've been visiting him whenever possible. Fortunately, I work for myself, so I can schedule my work around it and make sure that he gets a visitor every day. And I've been doing that. So, what else have I been up to? I've done some stuff on DriveThruRPG. If you go over there and check it out, there'll be a link somewhere down below. But all of my writings are over on our shared Google Drive, shared with Patreons of Laird and Librarian status, if you check out the Patreon as well. And over on RPG Gamer, still working my way through the Legacy comics, although we've got Andor starting in just about a week's time. So I'll be swapping over to that very soon for the reviews until the 4 weeks have passed and all 12 episodes are out, and then I'll start statting it out after that. In between the 3 reviews a week of Andor, I'll keep working my way through Legacy for the moment. But there's been so much Star Wars news today, my time, with Season 3 of Young Jedi Adventures, more movies, etc., that I'm going to have a lot to do in the future, and I'm really looking forward to it. But anyway, as usual, I've been wittering on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. And as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.